What are the best items in all of the Binding of Isaac Repentance? Me and my friend Turtier have played way too much Binding of Isaac, and we want to get down to the bottom of what the very best item is by analyzing every single item in depth. This is a highly edited version of our in-depth debate, so if you want to see the entire uncut masterpiece that is us analyzing every single item, then you can check the description below for the VOD. These parts don't need to be watched in order, so feel free to enjoy them at your leisure in any order you'd like. Also, I see that not everybody is subscribed. I'm trying to get this to 100%, so if you're watching this video, why are you not subscribed? You're actually throwing. Click the subscribe button. With that being said, enjoy the video. Yeah, so we're done with the flash items. Mom's key makes every chest just give like a million pickups.
It's hard with min-max items like this. I feel like it's B+.
Do I think the extra pickups and stuff from the chest is better than 99 bombs? Probably not, right?
I think it is, actually. I think it's quite a bit better.
To me, 99 bombs means you get every single secret room.
I feel like on Mom's key runs, you end up getting so many bombs that you basically have infinite bombs.
That's probably true as well. How about just like right here?
I kind of agree.
Maybe I do think it's worse than these two.
I was kind of thinking that as well. I actually think that placement where you have it right now is pretty good.
I like the soul hearts out of this. I like the damage up out of these.
I feel like if I see Mark versus Mom's key, it's like a tough choice. It's like, do I need damage right now? Do I need the black art right now?
Yeah.
Or do I want to go for all these keys?
It is important to note that this is like way worse late game, whereas the damage is almost always useful.
Yeah, and it's a speed up too. Yeah,
that's true.
Okay.
All right, that's fine.
Fair enough.
Mom's eyeshadow is...
Whatever. It's Charming Tears, and Charming Tears is...
insane above Brimstone.
Insane.
Maybe even above Sacred Heart.
You charm the enemies, and then they fight other enemies for you.
Hear me out. You charm a Vis, and then it's basically Brimstone anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
I think better than Brimstone, if you think about it. Because you're getting the Brimstone alongside the normal Tears.
It actually is kind of crazy. Actually, wait a minute. If you charm one of those enemies that copy all your tier effects, then you could have Sacred Heart with it, just saying.
Insane.
Insane. How common is it to charm, and does it give any stats?
It doesn't give any stats at all. It is 10% at 0 luck, and it maxes out at 100% at 27 luck.
It's pretty irrelevant.
It is kind of irrelevant. It's like whatever. It's okay. I would say D- makes sense.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Would I rather have this or Loki's horns? I think that's where I'm chilling at.
I'd say Mom's eyeshadow is a bit underrated here. I think it can help in some rooms.
It does scale on luck, right?
Yeah, it does scale on luck. Okay, I would say put it better than the ladder, but maybe just stop there.
Concussion Tears is a slight damage up and concussive tears, right?
So the damage up is really bad. It's the same as Charm of the Vampire, and the Charm of the Vampire effect is a lot better than this.
I think no matter what, if it's a noticeable damage up, I mean, not like super noticeable, but you do still notice it, I think it has to be C- at least.
I can kind of see that. I would say it's probably worse than all of these items, though.
You think so?
Because I could even see the argument for D+, because the damage up really is that low.
I was going to put it right here, personally. I think even a small damage up just feels better than these
I'm okay with
bombs.
it, to be honest. It's okay.
What helps more, even like instantly on pickup? The small damage up or the speed boost from Virus?
I would say the speed, and I would say the speed is more likely to save you on a run.
It's not impossible. Okay. Midas Touch. I just saw a YouTube short that you can have this and use Parting Against Humanity and get all golden poops. So,
yeah.
So top 5, I think, is pretty.
Oh, that just makes it the same as the dollar.
No, but this is cooler because it makes golden poops.
That's true.
So it's definitely higher than Sacred Heart. Unironically, though, that is a pretty cool synergy. If you have the poop, like the active item, if you have the poop in this, like it actually is so much money.
This is actually one of Blue Baby's best items. That's kind of funny to think
It actually is. No, it actually is. Like you get so much money. It barely ever happens, but if you get that, it actually is insane.
That's better than Steam Sale because you're getting like
way better. Are you kidding me? On Blue Baby specifically, if you still have the poop, it's definitely better than all the A- items. You just have so much money.
It's literally infinite money.
It actually is infinite money. Like, no, it's not even a contest. It's definitely A+ on that specifically. That's a very specific
Anyway.
scenario. Actually, you know what? It's funny because I don't value contact items at all. But is this actually not that bad of a contact item? Is it only one coin or is it multiple?
1 to 4 coins. 1 to 4. This is a contact item, not an on-hit item. So what you can do is some enemies that don't deal contact damage, like mulligans and pooters, you can walk into them, freeze them with the gold, and get money for free.
I don't know. That is all it does, though. But it's nice money game. It has some good synergies, but it probably doesn't go higher than a speed up, honestly. Is it right next to the concussive tiers? Is that crazy? Because it has cool synergies, but realistically, most of the time it's doing nothing.
You can technically use this to turn health into damage, kind of like a blood donation machine. You can just willingly throw yourself on an enemy and get money from them.
Yeah.
It's actually better than a blood donation machine because you're taking half a heart, and normally a blood donor is half a heart for a coin. Well, this is a half heart for 1 to 4 coins. But that's a bit specific because you either have to take soul heart damage or you have to be on red hearts and then take red heart damage and actually lose your devil chance unless you already fought the boss. So theoretically, you could fight the boss, get your devil deal, then have low health, and then walk into enemies in the remaining rooms to turn your red hearts into money. This sounds very, very complicated even for me. I don't think I would do this.
Also broken on Blue Babies, Tainted Maggie, Keepers, and Tainted Forgotten. That actually is a solid amount of characters, to be fair. I don't know. You know what? I think the synergies are common enough. Let's put it above the speed ups. How do you feel about that?
I am okay.
Humbling Bundle.
It's a lot of extra stuff. It doubles your things. It's not as good as it used to be, because now it only has a 50% chance to do it.
That's freaking cringe.
It's better than Book of Sin, 100%.
Book of Sin is just good when you get it.
But this is a lot better when you get it, like, at the same time.
But I like Book of Sin. It's my Book of Sin.
And Book of Sin is an active too, so this is actually permanent. The Book of Sin.
But the library, I mean the bookworm effects,
that's
bro.
true. Insane.
Insane. How about we just leave it 1 above and just move on?
I don't think it's a 1 above. I think Book of Sin should be lower, personally.
Not really. I think the consumables are better than Red Hearts.
I would say I would rather have Cuban Meat. I'd also rather have Bomb Bag. I think it should go down to C-. When we get to Book of Secrets, it better go in C+ as well, then.
Why do I ask? But even you know Book of Secrets is so irrelevant. At least Book of Sin has that early game benefit.
I think Book of Sin should be down a tier.
Definitely not going down a tier.
No, I'd let you have it. But it's like, it really shouldn't be there. Like, I've been looking more at the list. It really shouldn't be there.
Book of Sin, though.
It's really not that good, man.
But okay, but when you get it in the early game, it sets you on pickups, bro. It gives you what you need. And it's 1/3 bookworm. Come on!
I think Book of Sin is slightly slow, and also I think...
It's not slow, it's only 3-room charge. What do you mean? You get pickups. That's what it does.
I think it should be the tier below. Okay, and I also think Bomb Bag should be higher, so I'm okay with putting Bomb Bag a little bit higher as well.
Nah.
No, Bomb Bag should be above.
I'm giving you too much. I'm giving you too much.
Also, we're not done ranking Humbling Bundle.
Alright, fine. What are we doing Humbling Bundle?
Yeah, well, first you have to put Bomb Bag above Book of
No! Where's Humbling Bundle going?
It actually would be fine in C+. It should actually just be right there. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or is that, like, too low?
I'd vastly prefer the knowing where the secret rooms are. I think secret rooms are much more useful overall than extra pickups.
I actually think this gives you quite a lot of extra pickups.
Maybe before the nerf.
No, even at 50%, you're still getting quite a lot extra.
Yeah, you do. I mean, C+ is not that bad for a mid-utility item.
I'm just saying it should be higher in this tier, I think.
Yeah, but I just think...
I
think I hard cap it at the secret rooms. I think the secret rooms are much more run defining.
That just shows you where the secret room is. You can figure that out yourself.
Yes, but I think the bombs you save with this... Yes, you get bombs out of this, but I don't think it saves as much bombs like that you're gaining through saving with this.
I think you're getting double bombs from Humbling Bundle. You're gonna get more.
No, because it's 50% of the time.
Matter, that's a lot. That's
well, it is, but it's not double. No, that's literally no. But you just said it's double the amount of bombs. It's not. It actually isn't. You're not getting double the bombs in your run. You're getting 1/4.
I'm saying you get double the bombs when it activates, which is 50% of the time.
So it's 0.25% more bombs.
No, it's 1.5 times the amount of bombs, man.
You're actually right, I'm tripping. Alright, fine, where do you want to put it?
I think maybe higher than quarter.
Okay. Fanny Pack. You get hit and you drop pickups, right? Just any pickup?
50% chance to drop a coin, bomb key, or a heart whenever Isaac takes damage. And that's any heart. So that can be a soul heart, that can be whatever.
I mean, this does work on Blood Dono, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, this is pretty noticeable on Blood Dono and Demon Bombs. Like, it'll just happen.
The fact this can drop hearts, 50%, like, it's 50% of the time to drop one of those things.
This is a good alternative to Piggy Bank, but albeit I think Piggy Bank's definitely a lot better.
Piggy Bank is better for sure, yeah.
It's just a good to have on-hit effects that work with min-max stuff, like with Blood Dono and stuff. I think it's probably right here.
So why is Fanny Pack this high and Humbling Bundle is where it is?
Because Fanny Pack gives you hearts, like, in a fight as well. Or hell, even, like, it could give you... Because it gives cards, too, right? Doesn't it also give trinkets?
No, it doesn't. It's
Oh,
just... It's the same thing that Humbling Bundle. It's hearts, coins, bombs, and keys.
Oh, never mind. It's not nearly that high, then. That being said, I actually do still think it's better than Humbling Bundle. Is that crazy?
I think they might be comparable.
That's not a crazy take, honestly. I definitely thought it gave better items than it does.
Okay, I like Fanny Pack because I feel like a lot of the times this kind of becomes like... kind of generates a lot of value on certain runs, like you're playing a Blood Donor or effects like Habit or something, and you're already taking damage for Habit. And now this is activating. Some runs are like actually like on hit like value builds. Like you take damage on like a Curse Room door and just generate a bunch of value. And Fanny Pack kind of fits in with that, but I think it's probably better to just have Humbling Bundle, like in terms of consumables, it's probably better to just have Humbling Bundle, just give you a bunch of stuff. I think Fanny Pack might be in this tier. I think Humbling Bundle might need to be in B-.
Alright, fine, whatever.
I think we're sleeping. Can you not, like, I want to see where Fanny Pack is. Just, I can see Fanny Pack maybe a bit higher though. Maybe above? No, that actually might be correct.
This is the Turt list, y'all. I think this is fine. Sharp Plug.
You activate an item.
Oh, that's
when
right.
you have
This item's actually
charges.
cool.
Yeah, and it damages you. So this is charges whenever you want, as long as you have the health.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those items that theoretically is really good, but I feel like it just doesn't come into play as often as I want it to.
I feel like what actually happens is that you've had times where you could have used it to really good effect,
But you forget.
and you forget about it.
Yeah, I think
And I
that's
think
also accurate.
I think that's a skill issue on your part, and the item should be ranked according to how good it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool effect. That being said, does it need red health, or can it be any health?
No, any health, but it will take from red health first, which is
That's
optimal.
good.
Also on wound floors, it's still half a heart per charge. No matter what, it's half a heart per charge.
So how much does it charge the item for every half a heart?
One.
One tick, right? Like one room?
Yes.
But not instantly, right? Like it'll do one tick for every use?
It will instantly fully charge the item.
Oh,
Get one
really?
charge from
Could
it
that
only.
be like, doesn't that mean that you could just like accidentally click the active item and like you lose just like 4 hearts, like instantly? Or, like,
Technically,
3 hearts?
yes. Technically, yeah. It can't kill you, by the way. It will never kill you, but it could bring you down a half heart, and then you
Wait,
could die
it
from
really instantly brings you down? Like it doesn't do
Yes.
one at a time? That's rough.
I don't think that matters. I think just don't hit the active button.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking about it, like, damn. I don't even think that's ever even happened to me, but, like, the idea of that is really funny to me.
A good thing about this as well, even though it activates all at once, every individual half heart it takes away triggers on hit effects.
It's funny,
At least I'm pretty sure.
because you would think
pretty sure.
that this item is just better than Habit, right? Because it's basically doing the same thing? No. Habit has the benefit of bosses, and I think that's really useful, like for battle actives. Let's say you're in a final boss scenario where you're fighting just a final boss, right? You just passively will get hit, and then that'll charge like your Book of Shadows or whatever, right? Your battle active, and then you can use it again. But with this, you have to use it after
You're never
to
going
get
to use
rid of
this on
hits.
a battle active because why are you taking damage to use your Book of Shadows to not take damage? That makes no sense. But
So-
it's very, very, very good for something like D6. But Habit is also, I would say Habit's better because Habit is also good for D6. Just take damage on a fire. To
Yeah.
be fair though, Habit will take away from your soul hearts.
Exactly. So
Sharp Plug
I
will
do
take away from
think
your red heart.
theoretically Sharp Plug is just better, but I actually think the fact that it instantly recharges is actually a negative. I don't know, is it a negative? Because you could just do the room first. I was gonna say like it's better to like more accurately like do one tick at a time, like with Habit, instead of just like instantly.
Oh no, it definitely would have been better if it did it one at a time.
I'm trying to think of the scenario where it actually is better though.
No, I actually had one recently when I was doing the bump friend test, funnily enough. I got Satanic Bible, and I was about to leave the floor. My Satanic Bible had 2 out of 6 charges, and the boss dropped a red heart. I wanted to use Sharp Plug to empty my red health so I could pick up the red heart and get 2 extra charges on Satanic Bible, but I couldn't do that because using it would get rid of my black heart as well, and then I would get a black heart back. I couldn't use it just twice. I had to use it 4 times, and it was at the end of the floor. It does actually technically matter, but it's not a big deal, and there are times where this is better than Habit, because again, it takes your red health. Oh yeah, and also in wound floors, Habit will still do a full heart of damage, where Sharp Plug always does half a heart per charge. So
Habit feels quite a bit better, but we are comparing them directly to each other. Where do you think it goes?
I feel like it is worse than Habit, but the same. I think if we did this in the shop list too, I think they go next to each other, but Sharp Plug is down a spot. But I'm actually wondering if that's wrong. Maybe it's worse than that.
Yeah, I think it's worse personally, but I don't know where.
I feel like I underrate this item though. I do feel like Habit is better.
Oh, Habit's definitely better. Mainly for the battle active reasoning. Habit's actually one of the best, actually probably is the best recharge item, besides maybe 4.5 volt, depending on the run, for battle actives.
No, I guess Wound Floors is a fairly big thing though, because if you have like a D6 and you're on Wound 1 and you're in the Angel Room and you want to re-roll it multiple times, then Sharp Plug's way better for that.
Yeah, because it's half a heart at all times, right?
Yeah, and you can just go, oh yeah, I will, like you could re-roll it and it could re-roll into Dead Sea Scrolls. And you're like, okay, well, I'll spend 3 red hearts to re-roll this again. Well, with Habit, that would have taken you 6 hearts, and it would take from your soul hearts first. And that's actually fair enough. Like, that's a common scenario where you're in the Angel Room, you have D6, and you're like, I just want to charge this right now. Even spin down dice. Like, with the dice items, this is very good. Like, any re-roll effect, Sharp Plug's very good. And Habit can do similar things, but
we could just keep it there.
Maybe we'll just leave it there. Yeah.
Guillotine, everyone's favorite item. So Guillotine used to just flat out be a terrible item. It was uncontested, just like a bad item. What it used to do, all it does is make your head rotate around your body, and you still shoot from your head. Orbits around your body is still the hitbox. Because you're still shooting with your head, it's rotating, and you can't keep consistent shots. And on top of that, this is kind of like an Isaac's Heart scenario where it's like, because you're playing the game differently, it's hard to argue that you will shoot all your shots and you will play exactly the same as you do in a regular run. Because theoretically, even back then, before this item got buffed to be a damage up, you could make the argument that it's still better because it's free orbital, right?
It actually was always a damage up. It got buffed to be a tears up as well.
Oh, I didn't even know that. So it was just more of a DPS up, I see. I don't think it was ever worth it though. The moment you pick this up, you think you pick it up and it's worth it because you get a damage up. And yes, your shots are killing enemies quicker, but what you're not thinking about is how many shots you're missing. You are missing so many shots. So I guarantee you, your average DPS when you pick up Guillotine is maybe even like half as much. You miss so many shots.
I think it's comparable.
Yeah. I don't think it's comparable to your normal damage and safety at all. On certain bosses, it actually is just higher DPS. Like stationary bosses, it's really good. Like Mega Maw, we were looking at when Turt was testing. So the DPS was probably better on Guillotine against Mega Maw.
The DPS was definitely better against Mega Maw, for sure.
Because he doesn't move, so it's easy to hit your shots even with the orbiting head. However, it doesn't matter because he got hit by a million more fires. Because, again, it's easy to say in a vacuum, oh yeah, just treat your body like it's your body, right? Like you're just moving that, you're focusing on that. But because our heads are so used to where the tears are shooting from is where our hitbox is from, it's just way too hard to argue that yes, you are going to be able to look at your body and move according to that.
The issue that I had is sometimes when your head is orbiting around you, there'll be times where it is in front of your body, and in those moments, it was hard for me to know exactly where I was.
It's hard to know where you are. It's confusing. And I don't think it's fair at all to say, oh, just get good, when this item is one of the only items that does something like this. Its benefits don't outweigh it. We're not at it yet, but Isaac's Heart actually has a lot of benefits, like min-max benefits. You get free curse rooms and stuff like that. And there's a strategy to it.
A lot of damage if you know how to use it as well.
Yeah, true. This, I actually think the damage, like the damage in Tears Up, is misleading. I think the item overall is almost always a detriment. When I do pick this up, I always know that it was a throw. That I'm getting hit so much more often, I'm getting mobbed, I'm getting confused. Yes, your tears will kill enemies quicker because it literally is just damage and tears up, but that's only if when you hit them, you're not hitting all your shots. You will get hit more. I think it's mostly detrimental, and I feel pretty strong about that.
I also did a hush test with this, and every time I've done a hush test recently, I've not had too much trouble dodging. With this, there were some attack patterns that I was like, oh my god, I actually need to like really focus, and I had to like weave, and then I would still sometimes get hit. One of my theories with this item was that in a normal run, you're just going to be kind of playing like a normal run, and you might pick up Guillotine on a normal run, and then you're not really thinking, oh, I have Guillotine, and that's why you're getting hit. I don't actually think that's true. In my test, I specifically was focusing on Guillotine. I was looking at the body, I was making sure to look at the body, not the head. It is still harder to dodge. I'm unsure if it's detrimental. If anyone has good arguments for why it's not detrimental, then join the Discord and debate with us.
Yeah, debate with us. I mean, the Discord's why Bumfriend moved out of detrimental, for example. Let's move on. I felt good about that discussion. Ball of Bandages. Yeah, it's right next to Cube of Meat.
I think it's slightly better. I want to check the damage values on Cube of Meat. The damage is actually the same, but this charms people, so it's better. It's just better, but that's it. It's slightly better.
Woo! Good discussion. Challenge up.
Champions up.
Challenge and damage up, yeah.
There is an argument to be made that this is like a consumable generating item because champions drop consumables and you're getting more champions, but that's kind of silly. The real benefit is you get +1 damage, and +1 damage is pretty good. Having said, I think that, yes, it technically does give you a bit of extra consumables, so technically you say it's better than damage up. I would say having more champion enemies is worse, though, than an extra damage up, so I'd say it's lower than Steven. I would consider the champions a downside.
I do wonder if I agree with that. Maybe.
Yeah, again, you're going to get slightly more consumables, but you're fighting enemies that have more HP and hit for more damage. Like, it's still a good item, obviously, but I think it's like slightly not worth it having the
just
champions.
Of damage that you can buy in the shop. Yeah, I feel the same way, but I know that Tur would say, oh, nope, can't use context. That's fine, where it is right there. Poop bombs. This could be really good if you have a lot of bombs. If you use a bomb with this item, then it actually just kills like all the enemies in the room, especially early game.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to rank though, because yes, it's in a vacuum, it's good against enemy rooms, but I don't think you ever really have enough bombs to like actively use it like that. It's still a good bomb effect, like, no doubt. I think its bomb effect is better than Mr. Mega, and I think it's actually just right there. It is really nice to just kill all the enemies.
Mr. Mega might be better just because it has more bomb radius, so your bombs are actually better for, like, regular use. Like, the bombs are bigger, so you can hit more things with a single bomb. There could be, like, 2 rocks. They're, like, kind of far apart, and Mr. Mega will be able to hit both of them.
Okay, then. Want to just do that?
Yeah.
Okay, Gnawed Leaf, basically, you don't move, and you're invincible. Like, actually. This item, if you have just actually any item that does damage without you shooting, you can technically almost win every fight just by standing still and doing nothing. We might have all done that once or twice, because I've done it before, but I actually think it's just too niche. It's weird to rank. It's realistic depending on what you have. Succubus is really good with it because it's quicker. But I think if you have just like Cube of Meat and you're just waiting for the boss to like charge at you, like, bro.
I will say, against Mother, she'll get stuck on you when she does the dash attack. So even a regular orbital like Cube of Meat will very quickly kill Mother. That is worth keeping in mind.
It's funny because this item has so much to consider.
This is either the best item in the game or it's like kind of useless.
It's very complicated because that's its only use, right? You don't get any min-max benefit out of this, do you? It actually is just to solo a boss by doing nothing. And I just think, and you need to have the items for it.
There are like quite a few like passive damage effects, but there's also not like a lot. Like some runs I have this and I just don't get something that does passive damage.
This is odd, because back when I ranked this in Natural Plus, I was so confident, like, oh yeah, I mean, you just do nothing, and boom, you win. Easy, better than Sacred Heart. But like, it's so much more complicated than that. It does mostly just do nothing. It's hard to argue that, like, you run up to Delirium with this. I would do it. I would stand still on Delirium and just wait.
I think the real issue I have with this, I'd rather be comfortable into enemy rooms more than bosses. And this isn't as good into enemy rooms because even if you want to instantly activate it, there's a bit of downtime upon entering the room and upon it actually activating. Yeah. And you can get hit in that brief window. It is actually not guaranteed win on enemy rooms no matter what.
You probably only actually need Cube of Meat for most enemy rooms.
Yeah. I tried using this against Hush recently where I had Distant Admiration, or maybe it was Forever Alone, and it ended up, Hush pushed me away and then spawned the Gapers, and then the Gapers couldn't get hit by the fly, and I couldn't do damage to Hush, and I ended up taking damage because I tried using Gnawed Leaf.
This item sucks to rank. I'm not gonna lie, I hate this item ranking.
It's A+, but I think low-end A+.
I think that's a little bit too high. I can see why you're saying it. I mean, hell, I literally just said it was like top 5 items for me back then. I don't know. I don't think the idea was that you stand in a boss room and just wait for them to die the entire time. I think the idea...
What's the idea?
For some boss patterns, maybe you could stand still enough for attacks you don't know very well and just use the invincibility for that attack and then go back to shooting.
Mega Satan is doing like a bullet hell attack.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's kind of hard. And you stand still and then you just wait for that attack to end.
I think all of the items in A+ can carry a run on their own. I feel not right about putting it in A+.
I feel like it should be A+ because there's a lot of times it's a free win, and I think you can even take it instead of something like technology, and then eventually Gnawed Leaf will become a win because you get some sort of item.
I think I'd have a much higher win rate overall with Dr. Fetus. Maybe almost entirely because of what you said about the rooms.
It is true though, this isn't as good into rooms, and it does rely on a second item to do anything.
Yeah,
If
like,
you don't have the
I
second
don't
item,
think,
it is
I
useless.
think by itself, Dr. Fetus can beat an entire run. Gnawed Leaf relies on a lot to happen for it to be as good as people make it out to be. I'm okay with A-, but even then, like, I was gonna originally put it in B+, because it's very heavily reliant, and even then, it's a bit iffy for me, because I take into account, realistically, what a player will actually do, like, actually be willing to do. And I don't think most players are willing to actually use this unless they're like fighting Delirium as like Lost or something.
Yeah.
Which is very niche.
Mana, swap screen over. Okay. I get hit before I can go to stone here.
That's why those enemies were top 3 in the enemy list, bro. I hate those enemies. Those enemies snipe you. Would
There
those
are some enemies that can hit you
would those
before
would
you
those
can-
tech eyes be top 3 worst enemies for you?
Probably.
Those
they're
suck. They shoot so fast.
It is kind of rare, but there are some enemy room layouts that even with the synergy, like I got Gnawed Leaf and Succubus, I still get hit. There's nothing you can do there.
It is impossible to place this item correctly, so take my placement with a grain of salt. Like, do not be mad or happy about where I place it. It just feels wrong to even put it in A-. I would put it like here. I see it at top 5. I see it at C-. I see it at a million different places. That's where I guess I'll put it. This is like kind of in the middle of where all my placements would go.
Put it in detrimental, because it should be removed.
True.
I would say I would prefer it to either be the top or the bottom of a tier.
Hear me out. Top of B-.
That's probably too low. I don't know where to put this is the thing. I think top of B+ makes sense. You did convince me that A+ is probably not right. I could also see bottom of A-. I think this is an item that's very easy to kind of see the high points for, and then not consider the low points.
Yeah. People are saying bottom B-, bottom B+. Hear me out. Bottom B+. What do we think?
I would take this item over damage ups though. I think that the chance that this high rolls and wins you the run is worth it.
Okay, let me put it right out there. Your favorite argument. This sucks ass for boss rush. How are you gonna make the boss rush with this? Explain. Please explain.
Well, you see, Mana. You see.
Explain.
You enable debug console, and you put on debug 10 so that every room is cleared, and then you make boss rush with it.
That actually is a legitimate argument for this item, even at like when high ranking it. It is a legitimate argument that you cannot reach boss rush with this when compared to other items. Somebody just said Turt is the personification of the nerd emoji.
I know, I am. Anyway.
Let's just leave it there, whatever.
I think that is fine. I'm not gonna think about it anymore. That item hurts my brain. Spider Baby. Where's Mulligan? Where's Infestation? E-? Yeah, this goes to E-. Who cares? It spawns 3 to 5 friendly blue spiders on taking damage. I think it's better than Infestation. Infestation is when you get hit, you drop 2 to 6 blue flies. And Spider Baby is when you get hit, you drop 3 to 5 friendly blue spiders. That sounds worse than Infestation. That's 1 spot below Infestation.
Okay, but hear me out. Insane. Yeah, it's fine.
Insane.
Guppy's collar. All right, are you ready for Turt's favorite argument, chat, about Guppy's collar? Hear me out, chat. With Guppy's collar, you can take a devil deal when you can't take it and gamble. 50% of the time, you get a free devil deal item. Insane.
We all know how much I like gambling. If someone said gun to my head, I win an Isaac run, you bet that I'm gambling on the devil deal Guppy's collar.
Gamble Guppy's collar is insane. One time, there was one
in the head and die.
There was one run, and this is a real run that I've had, where I was fighting Beast, and I died 4 times. 4 times, because the run was ass. It was like one of my worst Beast runs ever. Probably the worst, like, damage-wise. It was terrible. I died 4 times to Beast, and won the run because of Guppy's collar. That was a high roll. Obviously, I rolled that 50% chance like a crazy amount of times. But it does work. And against Beast, it's literally good because you auto-revive in, like, it's like a last life and Beast fight, right? The double deal chance is definitely a meme. Like, you're not actually going to risk your run on that if you're playing Optimal or if you're streaking. But honestly, this is actually a good run. Like, it is actually a solid item as a backup for a Beast run. Like, it's just nice to have.
Or you're playing the Lost and you die.
Yeah.
And
no, it actually is.
Might just come back.
Yeah, it actually is just a good lost item. It actually is. I mean, no matter what, it's a Guppy item, right? So no matter what, it's here. And it actually actually has way more uses than Guppy's hairball, so I definitely still think it's B+. And I think it's more valuable than the Guppy's head. Its effect is better than Guppy's head and Guppy's hairball by a significant enough margin to be a tier higher, and I think it's right here.
I agree. I actually agree. I've come around on it.
Let's go. I got the Turk convinced, chat. Lost Contact. This is a good item.
Yeah. Some people say it's bad because, oh, I'm trying to fire at the enemy and now my shots are disappearing before they hit the enemy. And that is kind of true and it is kind of annoying.
Just get piercing, nerd.
Yeah, get piercing or get high fire rate. I just don't like having enemy shots on screen. This deletes the enemy shots. I'd say that's pretty good.
I think it's A- for sure. Would I rather have protective tiers or piercing?
I could honestly see the argument for A+, but I also think it's probably not quite at that level. But I would say it's at the top.
Top of A-, right?
A-, yeah. Like, I'd put it right there between Dr. Fetus technology.
It is still important to note that it is actually a DPS down. You're sacrificing DPS for more protection, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Easily detrimental. That is true.
You're so right. Pause. I'm actually kind of cool with the spot you said for it right here.
I think there are runs where this item is insane tier, but that's not every run.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's top of A-. Like,
I think it being comparable to Tech 1 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I definitely think Dr. Fetus is better.
Every time I say top of A-, assume I'm saying below Dr. Fetus, because in my head, Dr. Fetus is in the purgatory zone between A+ and A-, and we have it at A- as like just kind of like to satisfy that.
I will say, if you have piercing, this item is actually insane. This item is ridiculous with piercing. Yeah, so Turt has piercing right now.
Well, I can probably just like stand here and shoot, and I probably just, yeah.
You probably just don't even get hit. Oh, you got hit. That's insane.
Hit there. Like, yeah, that tier effect.
Damn,
hit you,
detrimental item.
Here and just...
Okay, if you're actually playing the game, you don't actually get hit.
If you're actually playing the game and you're not letting the shots hit you, then so many shots just get deleted. Like,
yeah, it is.
Just like that.
If you delete the piercing, it's definitely a lot worse. Like, you wouldn't be able to block like all that you need, probably.
See,
yeah.
It's blocking a lot less now. But it's still kind of good. Like, if I'm ever, like, worried, like, there's a tier that's going to hit me, I can block, like, just that tier. That might be good when you're doing the continuum phase. Like, if you're scared of an attack, just stop focusing on the boss and start focusing on deleting the tiers.
I think it's fine here. It is one of the best defensive items in the game. Obviously, it's not carrying your damage by any means, but it's worth it. Let us move on. I like that item.
Anemic. Insane!
Insane! Top 5!
So it gives you range.
Creep
and then
is underrated!
It is! It is, though. Anyway, no.
Creep is rated correctly. Alright, creep sucks.
This gives range and it gives creep, but only when you get hit. So it has to be better than the mum range ups.
I don't like it, so it's trash. Fair enough argument, right?
Okay, I actually think all of the mom items give you more range. So therefore, this has to be lower than them. Mom's underwear gives plus 2.5 range. Anemic is plus 1.5 range.
Wait, that's so much worse. Can this actually go E+?
Maybe it is right there. Okay.
Boom. Later matter convinced yet again. Goathead. Goathead's goated. Goathead is very good. It is literally 100% deal chance, whether it's angel deal or devil deal.
One good thing is it keeps the door open. So sometimes you leave your devil deal and you have like a D6 and you leave your devil deal, you want to re-roll it and come back with charges, but you can't because it closes. With Goathead, it's always open. It's a lot easier to re-roll your devil deal or whatever.
It is not as good as D6, but I feel like it's similar in terms of like power as a utility item. I think D6 is definitely better. It's hard for me to just slap it right there because I feel like that's wrong. I feel like all of these items, would I rather just have one of these over Goathead?
I think I would.
I think I'd rather have Ipecac, Tech 2, Multi-Shot, Magic Mush, especially, I mean, I think Spoonbender's too low, personally, but Cricket's Head.
I actually kind of agree. The more we've, like, done with Spoonbender, you can put Spoonbender above Magic Mush.
Let's go! Let's go! I love Spoonbender.
Would I take this or Cricket's Head? I think I would take Goat Head. You're going to be getting one Devil Deal every 2 floors on average anyway. So really you're only getting from Goat Head, you're only getting one every 2 floors. You're getting the ones you would have missed. That's actually not that much.
Like you said, keeping the deal open is really useful. What if you get hit on the boss and then you can't afford the deal anymore? Or you want to go and charge your D6 or something?
Now, to be fair, I think this game is less about obtaining a lot of items, and it's more about seeing a lot of items. So you don't have to buy every item with the Goat Head, but you do get to see a lot of devil items with Goat Head, and that's pretty relevant, because you just buy the ones that are good.
So where would you put it?
Would I rather have Book of Revelations or Goat Head? Okay, that's a hard one, actually.
Goat Head is great on every character.
Oh my god, Book of Revelations versus Goat Head is really tough.
I actually don't think it's close. If I were to compare these two, I think Goathead's kind of significantly better. It's obviously on Red and Soul Heart characters, it's harder to argue, but I'm honestly not even talking about that when I'm talking about items this high on the list. And that's why I wanted to move Rev and Wafer down, because they only barely make the cut for this because they actually are instant win on Red and Soul Heart characters, but they actually do nothing for the hardest characters in the game. I would prefer them to go at the top of A- personally. This is the point of the list where I weigh the challenge characters vastly more in terms of like what I'm considering, because once you get to these items, you are winning no matter what.
I think Goathead is bottom of this tier, like absolute bottom of this tier.
I mean, you could say that all you want. These items are null and void to me. Just like how you say with Dr. Fetus, these are irrelevant to me because they shouldn't be here.
You still do midpoint. My midpoint, like, the midpoint would be either above or below Wafer, but you just put it, like, between Wafer and Chocolate Milk, probably. To be honest, though, I might just let you have it. I don't mind it being above Book of Revelations.
I mean, it's hard
I don't mind it. Actually, no, I do mind. I've changed my mind. I do mind. I want to follow Book of Rev.
Book of Rev makes you lose... It makes you lose boss items, though. Not when you're Lost or Keeper.
Okay, I don't care.
Or Tainted Jacob. We can actually do a poll on this one. It seems like we're pretty tied on this. Goathead versus Rev. I would value the challenge characters at the higher points of this list higher than the point of pickup, I think.
Okay, but have you considered that Book of Rev gives you Devil Deal Chance? So it's basically the same thing as Goathead.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
Basically the same.
That actually is a good point, though, Matt Dragon. Tainted Jacob Rev is so good, it allows you to get hit more to avoid Esau. It actually is a good point. I don't think it's better than Goathead on Tainted Jacob, though, because Tainted Jacob gains a lot from free devil deals, and you just get way more. 21 votes, Goathead won.
Fair enough.
Oh, hey, Sin Robes. I like Sin Robes. So Ceremonial Robes gives 3 Dark Hearts and how much of a damage up?
+1 like normal, but it is 3 Black Hearts, so...
That is a lot of Black Hearts. We said it earlier.
That's a lot of Black Hearts.
I think it's fair enough to put it above Pact. It's comparable. 3 Black Hearts is a lot of Black Hearts.
I think it goes right above Pact, and then we just leave it there. And sometimes the Pact, the tiers up is not useful because you're maxed out, and in those cases, then Ceremonial Robes is just strictly better.
Wig.
What's a wig? When you're firing tiers, it spawns spiders.
What's the chance on that?
5%, but it maxes at 9.5 luck to 100%.
With perfection, is it 100%?
Yes.
Wait, is that actually... Wait. With perfection, is that literally just Guppy, but better?
Wait. Actually, let's look at this.
Wait.
So it is maxed at 5. Like you can see here, like literally every tier I shoot will give us, but no more will happen until I use the until I use the spiders.
Oh, I see.
And then more will spawn.
Wait, but that's so good though. Pause. I was underrating this item. Wait, I thought this was going to go E tier.
But like it's doing nothing right now, and then it's like I need the spider to hit, and spiders are a bit annoying.
Yeah,
like,
spiders are annoying, I guess. But it is nice though. You just always have spiders.
Let's fight Hush.
Kind of insane. Is this insane?
I mean,
look at this damage. This is with no damage ups. Pause.
I think the issue is that spiders are really slow at hitting the enemies.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, from what I saw, like, you get this on a Lost run. That actually doesn't sound that bad. Like, this is pretty good in the enemy rooms. You'll just always have 5 spiders. That sounds pretty good.
I just wanted to check with Guppy. I just checked now. Yeah, the flies instantly go to Hush when you have Guppy.
Attack flies are definitely...
this kind of...
Attack flies are definitely better than spiders. I don't know why they nerf spiders so much. It's a shame.
They used to do more damage than
Which makes
flies.
sense, because they hit less. Like,
it just do the same damage as flies, and they can't fly. They're just way worse. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah. It really isn't that bad. Granted, it's only on perfection. I actually think without perfection, it's probably like E+, maybe D-. That being said, it's actually relevant on Lost, which is nice.
It also heals 1 red heart on pickup.
Insane! Anyway, maybe just like bottom D+. Is that crazy?
I'm wondering if it should be D-.
I'm okay with that too.
I would put Mum's wig between Brother Bobby and Sister Maggie.
So this is Placenta. I actually think I would prefer Placenta be taken out of the game instead of Gnawed Leaf.
I agree. No, I agree. I will defend Placenta, but I think it's a bad design.
No, okay, I get the idea. The idea behind Placenta is that it's auto heal. Over time, just while you're playing a run, a red health character run, you will heal some damage. Fair enough, right? That sounds reasonable enough of an item. It's, you know, it's like regen. However, the way it's implemented is based on the in-game's timer. What you could do with Placenta is actually just stand there and just heal to full after every single time you get hit. You actually can do this. Or if you're playing a Blood Dono, you could use all your red hearts and then sit there in front of the Blood Dono, heal to full red health, and then do it again. I do not like, this is one of those items where I think it's very controversial whether you should rank it with that or not. I prefer not to rank it that way, and Turt does want to rank it that way, and I actually think that's okay overall. Like, I'm not too upset that Turt wants to rank it that way, because honestly, I think taking into account both ways is gonna reach a better ranking of the item overall anyway.
Yeah, I actually agree as well. I obviously on my own list I would put it where I want it, but I think it is reasonable to not count it. It is a bit of a extreme strategy.
When you've played the game enough, because we're ranking at a high skill level, right? When you've played the game enough, when do you actually need Placenta? You've probably only actually used the Placenta strat when you were at a low skill level of Isaac. I've only used it when I was at a low skill level. Whenever I'm at a higher skill level, I never need it on a red heart character, and guess what? It doesn't work on challenge characters or soul heart characters.
Technically works on Keeper.
I actually think it's fine on Keeper, that being said. I'd say give your case for it and rank it where you want it.
So I originally said that this might be like insane tier, but Mata did convince me that it's actually not insane tier, and I actually agree now that we have more items in insane. I think getting, like, even if it was instant, like let's say if you were in a non-enemy room, it just instantly fully healed your red hearts, I still think that wouldn't be insane tier, because insane tier is literally that strict. Yeah, I would put it in A+ somewhere. It's actually, I'm wondering how much min-max value you need from this to be better than just getting a big damage item. There are some good cases for this even without like completely abusing it. Like challenge rooms are good with this. For example, I wanted to play a boss challenge room, but they can be a bit risky because you're always on one heart. I just left the game for 5 minutes, came back, had a bit more health, and then I could play the challenge room safely, right? I think it is like kind of close to Cricket's Head. I picked this up and I'm probably winning. I think the higher items than Cricket's Head are like, I would take these and I'm probably gonna win just because I have so much damage. Another thing with the Placenta strategy is you don't have to use it. It's the option to use it that you just inherently have when you have this item. If I am really desperate, I can just decide, no, I'm gonna play this Blood Dono, then I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna watch all of Later Manners tier list videos. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna be full health. Then I'm gonna do it again. You can just decide to do that if you're really desperate. I would say it's A+, maybe around Cricket's Head, like approximately.
So my argument, like if I'm going to argue for it, assuming we're ranking the full heal, I would actually say here, right below Dr. Fetus, because I actually think, honestly, even on red heart characters, I actually think Rev and Wafer are basically the exact same thing in terms of invincibility. I don't think there's any world where a high skilled player who has either Rev or Wafer on a red or soul heart character will ever have a different win rate than with Placenta. And I think that these, I mean, obviously these are both great on soul heart characters as well as an extra benefit. I think you have infinite health enough with these two that it actually doesn't change the win rate at all. So I think it goes a tier lower because these are just like better on more characters, and you also get the min-max benefit of sack rooms, which this also does, obviously. But
this gives you more sack rooms, yeah.
Of course. But like at the end of the day, you get all you need out of the sack rooms with Wafer, right? Or hell, probably even Rev, to be honest. You don't need to have full red hearts. And on top of that,
you don't need Placenta, but having it gives you the option to use it. So if I was desperate, if I was on a really bad in run and I needed to save my streak, I would do it. And just having that option is very powerful. Even if you don't use it, having the option.
And it's also important to note, if I was ranking it this way, you need enough red hearts to actually use it. If you don't have enough red hearts to actually heal with it, you could actually still just die in an enemy room, especially late game. If you only have 2 red hearts, yeah, you could heal 1 heart every room, but if you just get hit 2 times in an enemy room, you still die. Because in Womb, if you have 2 red hearts, you just have more hits than you do with Placenta. So in that world, I think these items are vastly better, in a more dangerous scenario too. I think that both of these items in Womb, even when having the full health effect, like the full regen effect, is better because you have more hits. And I don't think you're ever actually going to lose enough hits as a red or soul heart character for you to be low enough to be at 2 hearts. But you might for a Placenta run. I can actually see that. Because you could lose your soul hearts to a point where you get brought down to 2 red heart containers. Whereas with these, you're probably going to have a bunch of soul hearts. And those will just never go away because you're taking so much less damage with Wafer and have more health.
By the way, I don't think there's much point for you arguing your Placenta use case point because you're not ranking it that way anyway.
Well, I think we should both rank it both ways and then take the average of both.
Okay, actually that makes sense. The midpoint for using it with the full heal would be like right next to Book of Revelations. I like low A+ for the midpoint of this rating. Where would you put it without that?
Okay, so this is assuming no infinite regen. You cannot assume you could wait there at all for this ranking. It is actually just every now and then you heal a half a heart.
On average every 2 minutes. It's 50% chance every minute. So it's on average every 2 minutes you get half a heart.
It honestly is not that much higher than a health up. I actually wonder if I value the full heal on instant pickup more. Probably not. And the problem is that you're most of the time on a regular run, even a red heart character, you're not taking red heart damage most of the time. You don't want to take red heart damage. So you actually taking red heart damage to enemies is still hurting your run overall. So that doesn't really matter. I think the only benefit
for the regen in normal ranking is you're playing blood donors.
Yeah, you're playing blood donors and then
your floor and you get a bit more blood donor value at the end of the
Exactly. But that's only a little bit. Like that, you might get like 2 coins out of it. Whoop-de-doo. I actually wonder if I value the full heal on instant pickup better.
Would you still allow waiting in a challenge room? You can just wait inside the challenge room and heal like half.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Red heart characters don't need that challenge room. I actually think there's an argument to be said that going for the challenge boss room on a red heart run is actually overkill. You do not need that item.
Chat doesn't like your take very much.
Really?
That you don't need the challenge rooms on red heart characters.
Damn, y'all are bad. That's crazy. Y'all are bad. That's crazy.
Why would you not take the challenge room? It's free items.
If you have to get down to half a heart, it's not free items.
It's 1 heart. That bad. You can also teleport out. You can get to 1 heart just by playing blood donors or sack rooms.
I think realistically, we should either put it above or below Charm of the Vampire, just because that would make sense.
I think it's bottom of B+ or top of B+.
It's funny that it lands there, because it actually is right next to Gnawed Leaf, and I think that's accurate.
I agree. So do you want to just put it there and call it a day?
we could throw it right behind Gnawed Leaf. I like that, actually.
That feels fitting. Bandage. I really like old Bandage. Okay, I'm not even kidding. This is like one of my favorite boss items. I love this item so much. It's just a simple effect. Empty red heart container. And that sounds worse than HP up until you realize that it gives you a 20% chance to drop a red heart every time you get hit. And it scales with luck. It doesn't scale with luck that well, to be fair, but every luck is plus 1%. So if you have 3 luck, it's now 23%.
Considering everything, like, I actually do love old Bandage a lot. Is it wrong to put it this high in B+?
I don't think Bandage was going to go to B+ for me.
Too high? I love
I
old
like
Bandage.
it. I don't think it's that high. I think it's B- feels right.
That's fine.
Every 5 hits, you get a heart back. And I think it's always a full heart.
Pedro just said placenta, but good design. So true, Pedro.
Old Bandage set up a good design. I agree.
Yeah, this is great design.
It's a 20% chance at base to drop a full red heart. That's pretty good. Like if you're playing a blood donor, that's basically 40% extra hits.
And it's good, and it's really good on final bosses as well for red heart characters. You could just get hit, and then you get an extra hit
also,
back.
You're just playing the game, and you skill issue, and you're like, oh no, I got hit. And then it drops a heart for you. It drops a heart. Yeah, and then you're like, oh, I didn't actually get hit because I can just take this now.
That being said, I definitely was highballing it way too much. It definitely is below Tears Ups, now that I look at it.
It's kind of like a weird Gimpy. It's worse than Gimpy because you'd rather have soul hearts, but it drops more often than Gimpy does.
Yeah.
So,
and this is definitely just better for min-maxing like blood donos and all that, and sack rooms.
Yeah. Oh, it's very good for sack rooms. It's actually very good with Sanguine Bond. Yeah. I like that combo. Yeah, I do think it's B- though. That makes sense.
Want to just leave it at bottom? B-?
I was actually also leaning on bottom. Is it slightly higher than that? Maybe it's slightly higher than that. Or is it? Maybe it's actually not. Maybe it is just right there. That actually kind of feels right.
Indeed.
That might be correct.
Sad Bombs. Sad Bombs has some cool combos. It is probably just better than these.
Speaking of bombs, I actually think the butt bombs is worse than the 10 bombs.
I think that's wrong.
How often are you actually using the butt bombs to kill things?
You are kind of right. Fair point. All right.
Sad bombs, however, actually can be really good for like combat, so I actually think it should be above them all. These can sometimes be really good. You get like Brimstone.
Yeah, Brimstone with this is insane. That being said, is Brimstone the only really good combo with this, now that I think about it? Let's just leave it above these bomb items. I don't think it's significantly better to a point where it raises a tier. It's just better. It has high roll potential.
No, I agree. I agree.
It has cool high roll, but I don't actually think there's as many synergies as people think there is. It's actually maybe only Brimstone that's that good. Rubber Cement.
Rubber Cement. It is a weird item because it is kind of like sometimes feels like it's not doing much, and then sometimes it's like really good.
Yeah, it's a good synergy item. By itself, it kind of sucks.
I feel like it might be a similar thing to Parasite, where it's like it's a synergy item and it's like it's cool. I feel like I would take this over a damage up. That's the thing. That like it's the same as Parasite. I feel like I would take it over a damage up. I can't quite say why. I just feel like it usually works out.
Yeah, it does depend. I see where you're coming from. I think damage overall might be better. I think Parasite's better at base than Rubber Cement is at base.
I actually disagree. I think Rubber Cement's better at base.
Really?
I feel like Parasite, like at the start, doesn't matter that much. It's actually kind of nice for this like room clearing because it's hitting all the enemies. It's not amazing though. Like sometimes it's doing nothing.
You know what it is about
It's a bit.
Parasite? I'm now only realizing what it was about Parasite. It has so much knockback. I actually think the knockback is why it feels so good. Wait, does Rubber Cement actually decrease the knockback? Because that'd be relevant.
This feels a lot better. Look at this. Like, to be fair, there was kind of good room for it because the enemies were really, like, in a tight spot. And you go here, and it's, like, hitting multiple flies. And then I go here, and it hit both of those.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Rubber Cement's better for enemies, and Parasite's just better
I'm fighting
for
flies, and it's going to bounce between the flies and kill them all for me. And I think sometimes it even, like, it might hit the top of the wall and, like, bounce back down to him.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a bit better.
We could put it above Parasite. I'm down enough for that. Want to just leave it right above?
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. Gravitational tears. I don't like this item, but it is just good. Like, if you spam the shoot button, then it is just a tears up.
Yeah, it's quite a big tears up too. It's +1 fire rate.
Oh, is it really past
from 5 to 6?
Is it really past the tier cap?
Yeah, it brings you from 5 to 6 if you're maxed. Like, that's a lot.
I don't like it, but
it's really annoying.
It is annoying, but it's hard to argue with past the tier cap.
And it's one of the few remaining bad Brimstone synergies.
Yeah, this is like actually the only item I think is kind of bad with Brimstone. Well, okay, it doesn't make Brimstone bad. I should preface this. You still take Brimstone when you have this. You definitely do. But
yeah,
you'd rather have Brimstone by itself instead of it with this.
If you have Antigrav first, you take Brimstone. If you have Brimstone first, you skip Antigrav.
Exactly, yes. It is still just higher than the tiers up, though. It goes past tier cap.
It's +1 flat, and +1 flat's a lot.
It's probably like bottom B+. You want to like put it above Whore. I value the Soul Hearts quite a bit, and I do still think this has some negative synergies. I don't care how much it gives, I'm not taking it. Art, that's so right. I don't care about the fact that you're forced to spam TBH. I think the only item that I am okay with spamming the button for is Neptunus, because it's that much stronger.
Yeah.
Neptunus is that much stronger.
So at base damage, it's slightly worse than a damage up. If you already have 1 damage up though, versus taking a second pentagram, it is now actually a fair bit better. So it's usually better than a damage up.
See, logically, it should go above damage up, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I think it should still go above. I think a good spot for it might be right below growth hormones, because at least growth hormones is a speed up.
That's fine.
Are we throwing though?
It depends. Are there like negative synergies with this? The only one I can think of is Brim.
Show my screen. I think this is a really bad one.
Ha!
I can't not use the antigrav there.
Oh, you couldn't have let go?
No, I couldn't let go. I wasn't holding my controller.
Oh, interesting.
I wasn't holding my controller. I was holding the fire button, I mean.
Interesting.
Detrimental. Okay. It actually maybe should go a bit higher. I actually wonder if like we're underrating it because we don't like it. And that might be unfair.
How about above growth hormones then?
Maybe. I'm wondering if it's like better than the mark. No, honestly, where it is right now is fine. I don't want to put it too high. I feel like that's fine. Pyromaniac.
Also controversial item. This does have some placenta theory.
Is the most busted items in the game. It can actually just solo, like, not solo when you want, but it can like guarantee win you some runs on certain builds. But it won't always do that. Sometimes the heal effect on this is useless. If you don't know, it's you heal half a heart. It got nerfed. It used to be a full heart. It's now half a heart. You half a heart on bombs, which means you're immune to bombs. So at worst, even for challenge characters, at worst, you're immune to bombs. It also gives you 5 bombs and pickup.
This is a well-designed item for sure. It's funny, actually. I think it is comparable to Book of Rev and Wafer.
Well, yeah. It might not give you infinite health, but it could give you a bit of healing. Even if you have only 10 bombs, that's still 5 hearts.
Oh no, it's good. It's easy to get caught up in the immortality side of it, but that's not every single time you have the item. There are runs that you don't have the bombs, or you're not playing as a red heart character.
I'm saying even just using it to turn bombs into red health, that's still pretty valuable.
Yeah.
Then it has the potential. So at base, even just what I've said, bomb immunity plus you can turn bombs into health, plus it gives you 5 bombs on pickup. Even just that is pretty good. Not A+ tier, but even just that is pretty good. But then it has the potential to just actually like win you the run because you get like Curse of the Tower, or you get Dr. Fetus, or you get Ipecac, or you get...
That is true. It does have some crazy synergies.
You either hit 99 bombs, even if you have like Mum's Key and Guppy's Tail. If you have Mum's Key and Guppy's Tail, you get a bunch of bombs, and now you are just hit infinite health. Like there's a lot of ways to either naturally get a lot of bombs, or you have bombs as part of like an on-hit effect, like Curse the Tower, or you get like number 2. Number 2, you just hold down the fire button, you spawn a butt bomb. Okay, now you have infinite health. There are so many ways that this item is infinite health.
You've actually convinced me. I was going to say it wasn't A+. Like I was going to say top of A-. I think it is bottom of A+. like right behind Wafer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I compared it to Gnawed Leaf, because Gnawed Leaf is the same as Pyromaniac, where they can both high roll and win you the run on the spot. The problem is if Gnawed Leaf doesn't do that, then it does nothing. But if Pyromaniac doesn't do that, it's still giving you quite
bomb
good benefit.
immunity. I feel like this placement makes a lot of sense. It actually is way stronger on Red Heart characters than both of these, but obviously doesn't do anything for Soul Heart characters, whereas these do.
I would put it a bit higher in this tier. I'm actually looking at like Spoonbender, and I think that it's around that range.
See, I just think that's so wrong.
I think it's justified.
I think now you're taking too much into the high roll, I think. Every time you pick up any of these other items, you've won, no matter what. I hate to say it, but you're only counting Red Heart characters, first of all. And on top of that, you need to have enough red health as that Red Heart character for it to actually be super useful. And on top of that, you need the bombs for it to be useful, or synergy. There are still things you need. Now, granted, there's quite a few things, quite a few items, and quite a few ways to get a bunch of bombs. So it's justified for A+, but I think you don't need anything extra for any of these other items to help you on every character of the game.
I said that I agreed with you with Spoonbender above Magic Marsh. Now that I'm looking at them all, I no longer agree. Can we put Spoonbender back below Magic Marsh like it was before?
Why?
I realized that I definitely still would rather have Magic Marsh than Spoonbender.
But is that true? This synergizes with everything. It actually, like, Tech 2 homing. Hell, Ipecac homing. Hell, Mom's Knife homing. Hell, Brimstone homing.
Magic Marsh was above it originally, so just give it back to me. I changed my mind. The Red Heart character point you should never apply to my plate. Like, if I place it, you need to keep in mind that I'm ranking it for Red Heart characters. I do not agree with lowering an item because it's bad on Soul Heart characters. I think that's unfair to the item.
Okay, fine. Screw the Red Heart argument then. Even on Red Heart characters, you need the bombs, you need enough red health. There are times when you play as a Red Heart character where you don't even have red health. Let's say you're doing a Devil Deal run, you have an entire Soul Heart build. Oh, you just so happen to pick Pyromaniac up. You have a million bombs but have no red health. You go into the final boss, guess what? Nothing. You get bomb immunity, great. It does still have low roll scenarios even as a Red Heart character. Meanwhile, all of these items in every scenario is carrying your run. You need things to make this work.
I think the min-max potential on this is huge. I think the potential immunity is huge. Like, even if you just have, like, 20 bombs is still a lot of healing.
I didn't realize you were this hard on your criteria. You're not lowering it a single place for doing nothing on Soul Heart or Challenge characters. Not a single place. Like, I think it's fair to lower it a few spots.
I don't know. I really don't think it matters that much. I think I would rather rate the item as an item and not as nothing.
We're not ranking it as nothing. It's bomb immunity. No, it's not nothing. It's bomb immunity.
I mean, like, nothing relative to what the effect is meant to be. Something like a little Chad, it's basically nothing if you have a little Chad, unless you get Dark Bomb, which is, like, rare. And it's like, well, then why are you ranking the item then? If it's trash tier, because it does nothing on Soul Heart characters.
We need to rank the items considering everything. Saying that you don't want to lower it a whole tier, completely valid. Not even a few spots is actually way too hard.
I'm ranking most items in the context of Red Heart characters, because those are the most common characters.
So then why even talk about perfection? Why even talk about strats as other characters? Why don't we just change
an item's place? I'm willing to raise an item's placement if it's extra good on other characters because you're still ranking an item. You're still ranking an effect of an item. The item still gets to be used. But in Pyromaniac's case, where a big part of the item just doesn't get to be used, then I don't even know why you're ranking it at that point.
It's combining everything. I'm not only ranking on challenge characters, I'm ranking based on all characters. You rank all of them. That's why I think it's silly the way you're ranking right now. Because you're only ranking as if there's only Red Heart characters right now. I'm ranking as if there's all characters. The fact that I have it this high is very telling to show how good it is on Red Heart characters.
There is no real point ranking it in the context of Soul Heart characters because it's kind of a completely different thing. Basically, to accurately do it, you would need a second list that is just for Soul Heart characters. It would be only bomb immunity, and you'd have to rank it in, like, B-. it's obvious that when you're not on a red heart character, the item's a lot worse. So for the one list we're doing, I would rather it just be the most common scenario. The most common scenario is the red health characters. So I would rank it in the context of you're playing the normal characters and you can actually use all of the effects of the item. That's why I would rank it like almost entirely red heart characters. I don't like lowering stuff because
it's not a whole tier though. I feel like you're ignoring like actual aspects though. Like what about the points I just made? You can run a red heart character and not have red health on pickup. On a red heart character, I think there is more scenarios where these guarantee your win rate and Pyromaniac does nothing. Every single run where you have no red health or no bombs or not enough bombs, it is not even comparable to the win rate of these. And the win rate of these is always 100% on a red heart character. So even if I'm ranking on only red heart characters, I still think it is only right above Rev. Maybe above Goathead. If I pick up any of these on a red heart character, I've won. Things happen. You need things for Pyromaniac to be useful. I lowered it by 3 spots. This is my placement when considering everything. I did not change it a tier because of the differences. This feels very fair for red heart characters alone.
I can kind of see it. That could be my placement then.
See, that's more fair. We could just do this then.
I'm fine with that.
To satisfy the midpoint. That makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense. That makes enough sense.
Manor placement is perfect, I believe. Thank you, Arthad. All right, and I think that's it for today. I feel a little bit blown away that I actually convinced Turt. I'm not gonna lie.